The vastness of space stretched endlessly before the Galactic Dominion, an empire so technologically advanced that its fleets were feared across the universe. Deep in the heart of their mothership, a vast war council was taking place. Commander Zelrok, a ruthless and calculating leader, stood at the center of the room, surrounded by his elite generals. They were discussing Earth, a planet that had become nothing more than a laughingstock in galactic circles. Zelrok's voice echoed throughout the grand chamber as he addressed his commanders, a smug smile tugging at his lips. "Earth," he scoffed, "a planet of weaklings and fools. They stand no chance against us." His laughter was contagious, filling the room with a sense of superiority that only his kind could feel. He turned toward a massive holographic display, where footage of Earth's military forces was projected. The images showed Earth's fleet, outdated, slow, and primitive. Ships that looked more like scrap metal than war machines drifted helplessly through space, their weapons barely making a dent against the alien weapons they were pitted against. Zelrok shook his head, chuckling. "Their ships can barely defend themselves, let alone launch an offensive. They're a joke." Beside him, Captain Venna, a brilliant alien strategist, joined in the mockery. Her sharp, intelligent eyes studied the footage as she spoke. "Their weapons are antiquated. Their shields are laughable. If they think they can stand against our firepower, they are gravely mistaken." She smirked, her confidence unwavering as she looked at the images of Earth's hopeless defense. The rest of the room erupted in laughter. Alien soldiers, commanders, and generals exchanged jokes and ridicule about Earth's pathetic military. The aliens couldn't fathom how such a primitive species could ever hope to stand against them. However, what the Galactic Dominion didn't know was that on Earth, in the deepest, most secret corners of the planet, an entirely different story was unfolding. Far below the surface, hidden beneath miles of rock and steel, the Earth's Project Vindicator was underway. A mission so ambitious that it would change the fate of humanity forever. In a massive underground laboratory, Dr. Adrian Carter, one of Earth's top engineers, stood over a massive construction platform. His eyes gleamed with a mix of anticipation and determination as he oversaw the final stages of building Vindicator 1, Earth's first warship designed to challenge the might of the Galactic Dominion. The ship was unlike anything Earth had ever built before. Its hull was sleek and futuristic, designed for speed and stealth. Advanced cloaking technology covered the ship's exterior, allowing it to become invisible to alien sensors. On board, an eye-controlled system powered the ship's weapons and defenses, making it more precise and deadly than anything the aliens had ever seen. But it wasn't just about stealth. The Vindicator 1 was armed with quantum weapons capable of destroying enemy ships with a single shot. These weapons, developed by Earth's finest scientists, harnessed the power of quantum energy, giving them a devastating edge over the alien firepower the Galactic Dominion was so proud of. Dr. Carter couldn't help but smile to himself as he watched the final tests take place. This was Earth's last hope, a weapon that could tip the balance of power in the galaxy. Yet it had to remain a secret. If the Galactic Dominion ever discovered it, the element of surprise would be lost. The Project Vindicator was Earth's secret weapon, and it had to remain that way for as long as possible. But time was running out. On the other side of the galaxy, Commander Zelrok and his fleet were preparing to launch a full-scale invasion of Earth. They believed the planet would fall without a fight. The humans, with their Arctic technologies, stood no chance against the might of the Galactic Dominion's advanced fleet. They had no idea that Earth had been secretly building its own power, quietly, diligently, and far beyond what anyone could have imagined. The invasion was set to begin. Zelrok's fleet of massive warships was ready to move into position, each ship brimming with alien soldiers and advanced weaponry. They would crush Earth in a matter of days, wiping the planet clean from the face of the galaxy. Zelrok stood before his fleet, his voice echoing over the command bridge. "We move out immediately. Earth will fall, and their planet will become a part of the Galactic Dominion." His tone was cold and final. The alien commanders nodded in agreement, and their fleet jumped into hyperspace, on their way to Earth. Unbeknownst to them, Earth's hidden fleet was ready, and it was unlike anything they had ever seen. The Vindicator 1 was just the beginning. The humans were no longer the helpless, weak creatures they had once been. They were about to show the galaxy that they were capable of far more than anyone had ever expected. As the alien ships hurtled through space, Earth's defenses were silently preparing, waiting for the moment when the Galactic Dominion would realize that they had made the biggest mistake of their lives. The final countdown had begun. A battle unlike any other was about to unfold, and humanity was no longer an underdog. They were about to fight for their survival, and they would do so with a technology that would shake the galaxy to its very core. The Galactic Dominion's arrogance would be their downfall. Earth was ready, and they had no idea what was coming. In the heart of Earth's hidden underground facility, the tension was palpable. The leaders of Earth's military, fully aware of the threat posed by the alien fleet, knew they had to act fast. They could not afford to face the Galactic Dominion head-on with their outdated ships and weaponry. The fate of their planet relied on a single advantage: stealth and surprise. The first prototype of Earth's new warship, the Vindicator 1, was ready. Massive, sleek, and deadly, the ship stood as a symbol of Earth's determination to fight back. It wasn't just a warship, it was a statement. Equipped with energy shields capable of absorbing the most powerful alien blasts, cloaking devices that rendered the ship invisible to enemy radar, and AI-controlled attack drones that would swarm the battlefield, the Vindicator 1 was a force to be reckoned with. As the prototype was revealed to the human fleet, the excitement among the soldiers was undeniable. This was the moment they had been waiting for, the moment they would no longer be the underdogs. The Vindicator 1 was the future of humanity's defense, a future that would take the battle directly to the aliens. Inside the control room, Captain Harrison, one of Earth's finest commanders, stood at the helm of the Vindicator 1. He was a seasoned leader, tough and unwavering, but the weight of the responsibility on his shoulders was clear. The survival of Earth depended on this ship and its crew. He looked over at his crew, a team of highly trained soldiers and engineers, each one ready to do their part. The ship's AI hummed quietly in the background, a reminder that this was no ordinary military vessel. "We're ready," Captain Harrison said, his voice steady but filled with an undercurrent of determination. "Let's see what this ship can really do." The testing phase was underway, and the team prepared for an aerial combat simulation. The Vindicator 1 was about to face its first real challenge: alien drones. These drones were the Galactic Dominion's standard defense units, designed to neutralize any threats that came their way. But the humans had something the aliens didn't anticipate: technology that was beyond their imagination. As the simulation began, the Vindicator 1 shot through the sky, its sleek form cutting through the air like a blade. The AI-controlled drones deployed from the ship, swirling around it as they engaged the alien drones in combat. The battle was fierce, with both sides exchanging high-speed fire. The alien drones, though fast and maneuverable, were no match for the advanced cloaking systems of the Vindicator 1. The humans knew how to fight smart, and it showed. The Vindicator 1 activated its cloaking devices, disappearing from the alien radar, while its drones moved in for the attack. The alien drones struggled to keep up, their sensors unable to track the elusive humans. It was a sight to behold. Earth's ships moving in the shadows, striking when least expected. The alien drones fell one by one, unable to counter the advanced tactics the humans had developed. The battle simulation wasn't just about showing off the ship's capabilities. It was about sending a message. The humans weren't the weak, vulnerable species the aliens had assumed. They were smart, resourceful, and now they were armed with technology that could bring down even the most formidable enemies. As the simulation ended, the control room erupted in cheers. The first victory in this war was theirs. The Vindicator 1 had proven its worth, and humanity's hope for survival had just become a reality. But amidst the celebration, there was still the looming shadow of the alien invasion. The Galactic Dominion was on its way, and the real battle hadn't even begun. The humans knew they had to be ready. This was just the beginning. In the barracks, the human soldiers gathered around. Among them was Bonner, a young soldier with fire in his eyes. He was no stranger to danger, having grown up in a world where conflict was a constant. But this was different. This was Earth's last stand. He looked at his fellow soldiers, the faces of men and women who were about to face the unknown. "Are we ready for this?" Bonner asked, his voice quiet but determined. One of his comrades, Sergeant Riley, clapped him on the shoulder. "We don't have a choice," she said. "This is our planet. We fight for it." Bonner nodded. He had seen the alien ships in simulations, and he knew the odds were stacked against them. The aliens had the numbers, the weapons, the power. But the humans had something the aliens didn't, the will to fight for survival. And that, Bonner believed, was something no technology could match. The soldiers gathered together, readying themselves for the battle ahead. As they did, Bonner's thoughts turned to his family, to the people he had left behind on Earth. If they didn't win this war, everything they loved would be destroyed. But he wouldn't let that happen. He couldn't. The humans were the underdogs in this fight, but they weren't about to give up. They had the Vindicator 1, the most advanced warship in the galaxy, and the heart of warriors who would stop at nothing to protect their world. The battle was coming. Earth had taken its first steps toward victory, but now they had to prove that they were more than capable of handling what the Galactic Dominion would throw at them. As the soldiers prepared for what would be the fight of their lives, Bonner felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. But in his heart, he knew one thing for sure. Earth's plan was in motion, and they were going to give everything they had to win this war. They were ready. The humans weren't just fighting for survival. They were fighting to show the galaxy that they would never back down. The underdogs were about to take the lead, and nothing would stand in their way. The day had come. The Galactic Dominion's fleet arrived at the edge of Earth's orbit, a massive armada of warships hovering above the planet. The sheer scale of the invasion was enough to send a chill down anyone's spine. The alien ships were far larger and more powerful than anything Earth had ever seen. Their weapons were designed to obliterate entire planets, and their technology was centuries ahead of anything humanity had developed. The Galactic Dominion had been planning this attack for decades, and they believed that this would be the final blow to the human race. Commander Zelrock, the ruthless leader of the alien forces, stood at the bridge of his flagship. He watched Earth's planet from the massive viewport, a smirk curling across his face. He knew that humanity's defenses were laughable at best. The Vindicator 1 and its new technology might have been a surprise, but in his mind, it was nothing more than a fleeting moment of hope. "Prepare for orbital bombardment," Zelrock ordered coldly. "We'll show them that even their best efforts cannot stand against the might of the Galactic Dominion." The countdown began. The aliens began to position their ships for the final strike. But little did they know, Earth was far more prepared than they had ever imagined. Down on the surface of Earth, the human fleet was already on high alert. Captain James Hunter stood in the control room of the Vindicator 1, watching the alien ships moving into position. His face was tense but focused, his mind racing. He knew that the battle was not going to be easy. They were heavily outnumbered, and the alien fleet was armed with weapons that could tear through any defenses humanity had. But he had something that would turn the tide: Earth's new technology. Hunter gave a quick nod to his crew, signaling that it was time to make their move. "Activate cloaking devices," he ordered. In an instant, the Vindicator 1 disappeared from the alien sensors, its sleek form becoming invisible against the backdrop of space. The alien fleet continued to move into position, unaware that Earth's ships were now hiding in plain sight, ready to strike. Hunter's heart pounded as he gripped the controls, his hand steady despite the immense pressure. The Vindicator 1's cloaking tech was their best chance. With it, they could get in close without being seen, and strike at the aliens with pinpoint accuracy. "Time to show them what we've got," Hunter muttered to himself. As the alien ships began their final preparations for the orbital bombardment, the Vindicator 1 and Earth's other warships made their move. In a flash, the human ships reappeared from the shadows, their cloaking devices deactivating just long enough for them to unleash a storm of quantum missiles at the alien fleet. The explosions were deafening, and the missiles hit their targets with deadly precision. Zelrock stared in disbelief as his flagship was rocked by the unexpected assault. His ships had been hit before they even had a chance to retaliate. The Vindicator 1 was nowhere to be seen, but the alien warships were falling one by one. Earth's technology had completely caught them off guard. Hunter watched the chaos unfold on his screen. Alien ships were being taken down left and right as Earth's advanced warships used their cloaking tech to get the drop on them, attacking with perfect timing. Missiles flew in every direction, but with the advanced eye-controlled drones and the superior navigation systems of the humans, they were able to avoid the alien counterfire. The battle escalated into a thrilling dogfight. Human pilots swerved and spun through the alien fleet, dodging blasts and returning fire. Captain James Hunter led the charge, his warship moving like a shadow, unpredictable and deadly. With every twist and turn, he struck down alien warships, one after the other. His heart raced, adrenaline pumping through his veins as he narrowly avoided an alien laser that sliced through space just inches from his ship. Despite the Vindicator 1's incredible success, the aliens were far from defeated. Their fleet was large, and they were relentless. More alien ships emerged from the chaos, their weapons charging up for retaliation. The human fleet was still outnumbered, and Earth's ships were struggling to maintain the upper hand. The aliens had massive firepower, and every strike from them could spell disaster. As the battle raged on, Zelrock's anger grew. His fleet was being dismantled faster than he could process, but he refused to accept defeat. He slammed his fist on the console, his voice booming across the ship. Full orbital bombardment. Now, the order was clear. The Galactic Dominion would end this fight by annihilating everything. The countdown began, and Zelrock's ships began to position themselves for the final strike. They would fire their most powerful weapons directly at Earth's surface, wiping out humanity's defenses in one devastating blow. 5 seconds until impact. The voice on the intercom was cold and mechanical, and it sent a shiver down the spine of every person in the control room. Earth's fate hung in the balance. Back in space, Captain Hunter and his crew watched as the countdown began. The atmosphere in the control room grew thick with tension. Their strategy had worked, but now they had to stop the aliens before it was too late. The orbital bombardment would destroy everything: Earth, its fleet, its cities, and there would be no going back. "We don't have much time," Hunter said urgently. "All ships, move into position. We got one shot to stop this." The fate of the planet rested on the shoulders of Earth's fleet, and as the countdown continued, the suspense built to a fever pitch. Would Earth's advanced technology be enough to stop the Galactic Dominion's final strike, or would humanity be wiped from existence in the blink of an eye? The clock was ticking, and Earth's future was on the line. The ultimate showdown had only just begun. The battle had reached its peak. The once quiet skies above Earth were now filled with the deafening roar of warships exchanging fire. In the distance, the alien flagship loomed, towering above the battle like an unstoppable force. It was the Galactic Dominion's pride, the key to their domination. And Earth's last hope lay in one thing: a daring mission to sabotage the flagship. Bonner, along with his crew, had been chosen for this dangerous task. They were among the best, trained for the most high-risk missions. His team was small but highly skilled, each member a vital cog in the intricate machinery that was Earth's resistance. The mission was simple in theory: infiltrate the alien flagship, plant the explosives, and escape before the ship could retaliate. But things were never as simple as they seemed. As their stealth shuttle approached the massive alien ship, Bonner's heart raced. The ship's defenses were formidable, and the alien fleet was still relentlessly bombarding Earth. Their plan depended on precision and speed, but they didn't have the luxury of time. The moment they boarded the flagship, they would be deep behind enemy lines, vulnerable and exposed. "Everyone ready?" Bonner asked, looking around at his crew. His voice was calm, but the tension was undeniable. His team gave nods of agreement, their faces a mix of determination and concern. They all knew the risks. They all knew the odds were stacked against them. But they were human soldiers, and giving up was never an option. With a final deep breath, Bonner gave the command. The shuttle lurched forward, stealthily slipping into the shadows of the alien flagship. The mission was underway. Inside the massive alien ship, the team moved like shadows, using every bit of the advanced cloaking tech at their disposal to avoid detection. Bonner led the way, his mind focused on the task at hand. The explosives they carried were designed to cripple the alien flagship, but they needed to plant them in the heart of the ship, deep within its core. The deeper they went into the flagship, the more dangerous it became. Alien soldiers patrolled the hallways, their weapons ready for any intruder. Every corner they turned, they had to fight for their survival. The close-quarters combat was intense. Bonner and his crew used their hand-to-hand combat skills, backed by their advanced weapons, to fight their way through the alien ranks. "Keep moving. We're almost there," Bonner yelled, his voice a rallying cry. But as they approached the central chamber of the flagship, things took a turn for the worse. Alien reinforcements arrived faster than they expected. The sound of alien boots marching echoed through the halls. The team was surrounded. "We can't get out of this one," said Sergeant Riley, one of Bonner's closest comrades. Her voice was grim, but she kept her cool. "We've got the explosives in place. We just need to get out before they—" Before she could finish, an explosion rocked the hallway. Bonner's eyes widened as alien soldiers poured into the corridor, their weapons ready to tear the humans apart. They were trapped. "Go," Bonner shouted. "Get out of here. Now." His team hesitated, knowing what he meant. Escape, but not for him. Bonner wasn't planning to make it out alive. He'd made his choice. His team would survive, but he would stay behind to make sure they could get away. The look in Sergeant Riley's eyes was one of disbelief. "No, Bonner. You can't." "I'll hold them off," Bonner interrupted, a determined edge to his voice. "This is what needs to be done." Without another word, he turned to face the alien forces closing in. Bonner's heart pounded, but his resolve was unwavering. He had led his team to the target, and now he would hold off the alien soldiers long enough for them to escape. He raised his weapon, the blinding light of his rifle cutting through the dark corridor. The first alien soldier went down in a blaze of light, but more were coming. Bonner fought with everything he had, firing and dodging in a dance of survival. Each shot he took, he moved faster, each movement calculated. But there were just too many of them. The battle raged on in close quarters, the sound of gunfire ringing through the halls. Bonner held his ground, firing at anything that moved. But the alien soldiers were relentless, and soon Bonner's ammunition began to dwindle. The fight was becoming more desperate, and his strength was fading. Meanwhile, his team raced down the hall, escaping through the ship's exit, but their thoughts were on Bonner. They had to leave, but leaving him behind was the hardest thing they had ever done. They had trained for this, but nothing had prepared them for the pain of losing one of their own. As they reached the shuttle, Riley turned to Bonner one last time. Tears welled in her eyes, but she knew they couldn't go back. They had to survive. Earth depended on them. And Bonner knew that too. Bonner stood alone now, his back pressed against the wall. His weapon was empty, and the alien forces were closing in. He had bought his team enough time, but now it was time to make the final stand. The explosions from the planted charges shook the ship. The first blast rocked the flagship, and the second sent it into chaos. Bonner's heart raced as he heard the explosions in the distance. He knew the ship was about to fall. But before it did, he had one final act to complete. With his last bit of strength, Bonner activated the broadcast system on his communicator. His voice crackled through the speaker, loud and clear, even as the sounds of battle raged around him. "For Earth," Bonner said, his voice filled with resolve. "For humanity." And then, with a final breath, Bonner's ship exploded in a fiery inferno. The alien flagship trembled as the explosives tore it apart, sending a massive shockwave through the fleet. As Bonner's ship disintegrated, the alien forces faltered. The Vindicator 1, still cloaked, fired its missiles at the remaining alien ships, taking advantage of the chaos. Earth's forces were pushing back, and the tides of war had turned. Bonner's sacrifice had not been in vain. His crew had escaped, and the alien fleet was now in disarray. Earth's warships attacked with renewed vigor, and humanity's chance of victory had never been higher. Though Bonner was gone, his sacrifice had ensured humanity's future. His final words would echo through history. For Earth. For humanity. And with that, Earth's soldiers fought on, knowing that they had one more ally in spirit. With Bonner's sacrifice etched deeply into their hearts, the humans of Earth knew they had no choice but to fight on. The alien forces had underestimated them. And now, with the loss of one of their finest, they could no longer afford to hold back. Captain Hunter and his team gathered in the war room, surrounded by maps of the battlefront, their faces grim yet filled with unwavering determination. "We do this for Bonner," Captain Hunter said, his voice hard but filled with pride. "We do this for Earth." The decision was made. It was time for the counteroffensive. Earth's fleet, newly equipped with cutting-edge technology, surged forward with a newfound ferocity. The AI-powered drones flitted through space with deadly precision, swarming around the alien ships and overwhelming their defenses. These drones, controlled by advanced algorithms, coordinated with human warships in a way that even the alien fleets couldn't comprehend. Their quantum energy weapons rained destruction on the enemy, cutting through the alien ships like a hot knife through butter. But the real challenge lay in what was about to unfold. Commander Zelrock, the leader of the alien forces, had underestimated the humans' resilience. He had always believed that they were no more than a primitive race, incapable of standing up against his vast and technologically superior fleet. But now, with the loss of Bonner and the surge of human strength, the tide had begun to turn. The Vanguard, Captain Hunter's ship, became the symbol of Earth's resistance. Its sleek form sliced through space with astonishing speed, weaving in and out of explosions, avoiding enemy fire with almost supernatural agility. The AI-controlled navigation system was faster and more responsive than any pilot could dream, allowing the Vanguard to cut through the alien fleet like a blade through paper. Behind the Vanguard, Earth's ships followed suit, making a powerful push that sent the alien forces reeling. Meanwhile, Zelrock, enraged by the unexpected turn of events, ordered his flagship to enter the fray. His ship, the Predator, was a formidable force, armed with destructive plasma beams that could obliterate anything in their path. It moved through the space like a predator hunting its prey, the plasma cannons glowing menacingly as they aimed for Earth's ships. But Captain Hunter was not afraid. He had already faced loss, and he was willing to face the unknown to secure victory. As the Vanguard engaged Zelrock's flagship, the two ships became locked in a high-speed space duel, the background lighting up with explosive bursts of energy. Hunter's hands gripped the controls, his focus absolute. His ship darted and weaved through the battlefield, narrowly avoiding the plasma beams that Zelrock fired with ruthless precision. With every maneuver, the two ships danced around each other, Hunter's Vanguard narrowly avoiding the deadly plasma beams. The tension was palpable, every second stretched to its breaking point. The backdrop of exploding ships, shimmering shields, and debris filled the void around them, a visual cacophony that mirrored the chaotic battle raging across the galaxy. Hunter's ship, agile and equipped with advanced cloaking technology, moved with an uncanny grace, dodging and retaliating with calculated precision. Earth's fleet had turned the tide, and now they were on the offensive. The AI drones worked in perfect synchrony with the human warships, swarming Zelwak's forces from all directions. The alien ships that once seemed invincible were now falling, one after another. Zelwak's face twisted in rage as he tried to gain control of the situation. His plasma beams were powerful, but the human ships were quick, and they moved in a way that made them nearly impossible to hit. It was a battle of patience and skill, and Hunter was ready to outlast him. Finally, it came down to a single moment. Hunter's vanguard locked onto the Predator, charging its quantum weaponry for one final strike. Zelwak, seeing the end was near, fired his most powerful plasma burst, a devastating shot that could have obliterated the vanguard in a single blast. But Hunter was prepared. At the last possible moment, the vanguard activated its cloaking device, disappearing from Zelwak's sensors. The plasma beam sailed harmlessly into the void, missing its mark by mere inches. In the blink of an eye, the vanguard reappeared, its weapons fully charged and ready. Hunter fired with pinpoint accuracy, unleashing the full force of the quantum energy cannons. The blast hit the Predator head-on, tearing through its defenses and causing the flagship to shudder violently. Explosions erupted within the alien ship, its massive form slowly breaking apart under the weight of the human assault. Zelwak, unable to regain control, screamed in fury as his ship was torn to pieces. The alien flagship exploded in a fiery inferno, sending debris scattering in all directions. The remaining alien forces, witnessing the destruction of their leader and flagship, hesitated. For the first time since the battle began, the alien fleet faltered. Without their commander and flagship, the alien armada began to retreat. The aliens, once so confident in their power, were now facing an enemy they had never expected: humanity. Their entire fleet was in disarray, and Earth's forces pressed on, wiping out the remaining alien ships one by one. The final push was swift and decisive. With Zelwak's defeat, the remaining alien forces had no chance of regrouping. Earth's fleet, now fully coordinated and bolstered by AI support, delivered a crushing blow. The alien retreat was nothing short of a humiliation. As Earth's warships made their final passes through the alien fleet, the survivors of the battle allowed themselves a moment of victory. They had turned the tide. They had shown the aliens that humanity would not be underestimated. Commander Zelwak's defeat sent shockwaves through the galaxy, and the once mighty alien empire found itself retreating from a planet they had once thought weak. Humanity had proven its worth in the grand cosmic theater. As the alien fleet disappeared into the void, Earth's soldiers stood victorious. The battle was over, and they had emerged triumphant, thanks in part to Bonner's sacrifice and the unwavering resolve of Captain Hunter and his team. For the first time, humanity had taken its place among the stars. The tide had turned, and humanity had won. The galaxy had never witnessed a moment quite like this. Earth, a planet once dismissed by the most powerful alien civilizations, had just proven its strength. The battle was over. The alien fleet was in disarray, scattered across space, broken and retreating. The war was won, but the cost was undeniable. Back on Earth, the skies were filled with fireworks, the cities were alive with celebrations, and the entire world took a collective breath of relief. For the first time, humanity had stood against an unstoppable force and emerged victorious. But amid the joyous celebrations, there was a somber undercurrent, a reminder of the price they had paid. The loss of Bonner, the courageous soldier who had given everything for his comrades, was felt deeply across the globe. His sacrifice had been the turning point, and it echoed in the hearts of every person on Earth. Soldiers who fought alongside him, now returning to their families, carried the weight of that loss with them. For those who had survived, the scars of battle would never fully fade. The emotional toll on the soldiers and their families was immeasurable. The faces of the fallen were never far from their minds. Captain Hunter, now revered as a hero, stood in front of the Earth's monument to the fallen, his mind heavy with the memory of the comrades he had lost. The victory was sweet, but the cost was bitter. Bonner's death had been the defining moment for him, and for all humanity. In his final moments, he had held off the alien forces to give his team a chance to plant the explosives that destroy the alien flagship. His bravery had ignited a fire in the hearts of humanity, a fire that burned bright even in the darkest moments of the war. As Hunter gazed out over the horizon, he couldn't help but think about the young soldier who had been there beside him, ready to face death to secure humanity's future. Bonner's sacrifice was now a part of the foundation upon which Earth's future would be built. Humanity had earned the respect of the galaxy. No longer seen as weak or insignificant, Earth had proven that it could stand up to the mightiest forces. The Galactic Dominion, once so confident in its power, now saw Earth in a new light. The other alien races, once dismissive of humanity's potential, now regarded Earth with both fear and respect. The entire galaxy was forced to acknowledge that humanity was not to be underestimated. Earth had not only survived, but had become a force to be reckoned with. The aftermath of the war was far from simple. While the alien fleet had retreated, the galaxy was still a dangerous place. New alliances were forming, and new threats were emerging. Earth, now a beacon of strength, had to prepare for whatever came next. But for now, humanity had earned a moment of peace, a moment to reflect on what had been achieved, and to honor those who had given everything for the cause. As the days passed, Earth's leaders began to shift their focus from just survival to a new vision, one of cooperation and growth. There were talks of forming alliances with other races in the galaxy, of sharing technology and knowledge to ensure peace would last. Earth had proven that it was capable of defending itself, but now it was time to forge its place among the stars, not just as a power, but as a partner in the galactic community. Meanwhile, on the moon, Captain Hunter stood alone, gazing at the stars. The Earth, now safe and secure, glowed in the distance, a symbol of humanity's resilience. The cold lunar surface beneath his boots felt distant, as if it were a world apart from the chaos that had unfolded only weeks before. Yet he knew that standing there was a reflection of everything that had led them to this moment. The battles, the sacrifices, the courage. The stars above, once distant and unreachable, now seemed closer than ever. They were no longer just points of light in the sky. They were a future waiting to be explored, a future where humanity had a place. Earth had proved it could defend itself, but now, with victory in hand, it had to focus on survival beyond the battlefield. The war was over, but the struggle for peace had just begun. As Hunter stood there, looking up at the vastness of space, he couldn't help but wonder what lay ahead. What would the future of humanity be? The Galactic Dominion was no longer a threat, but there were still other challenges to face. Would humanity be able to forge lasting peace, or would the galaxy continue to be a place of conflict and struggle? As his thoughts lingered, the sound of approaching footsteps pulled him from his reverie. Turning around, he saw Dr. Carter, the lead engineer behind the Vindicator project, walking toward him. She smiled faintly, her face tired but filled with the pride of victory. "You're still here," she said softly, her eyes glancing up at the stars. "The whole world is celebrating, but you're out here, thinking about the future." Hunter nodded, his gaze returning to the stars. "I'm thinking about what comes next. The war is over, but we've just begun. We have to make sure Earth doesn't just survive. We need to ensure we thrive." Dr. Carter nodded in agreement. The battle for survival is never truly over, but today, Earth has earned its place in the galaxy. No one can deny that. Hunter smiled, a flicker of hope in his eyes. "That's right, but we have a lot of work to do. This is just the beginning." As they stood together, staring up at the heavens, a massive fleet of Earth's warships began to move through space. The ships were sleek and powerful, a testament to the incredible advancements humanity had made. With AI-guided technology and advanced weapon systems, the fleet was a symbol of Earth's newfound strength. As the fleet sailed through the stars, leaving behind the battered remnants of the Galactic Dominion, it was clear Earth was no longer a backwater planet. The universe had been reminded of humanity's resilience, and as Earth's ships ventured deeper into space, they did so with the knowledge that they would not be alone. The camera panned out, showing the vastness of space stretching infinitely before them, and the fleet of human ships charging ahead, leaving behind a galaxy that now feared and respected Earth. The new dawn for humanity had arrived. It was a time of peace, yes, but also of growth and exploration. With the strength of Earth behind them, the future seemed bright. The stars no longer seemed so distant after all.